Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the IS Companion. Today, we are going to delve into the intricate concept of judicial activism, exploring its origins, development, meaning, and implications both in the United States and India. Judicial activism plays a crucial role in shaping the judiciary's proactive stance in safeguarding citizens' rights and promoting justice. The concept of judicial activism first emerged in the United States in 1947 when Arthur Schlesinger Jr., an American historian and educator, coined the term. Schlesinger used it to describe a judiciary that takes an active role in shaping social policies through its decisions, thereby going beyond the mere application of existing laws. In India, judicial activism began to take root in the mid 1970s, largely due to the pioneering efforts of Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, Justice P.N. Bhagwati, Justice O. Chinnappa Reddy, and Justice D.A. Desai. These justices played an instrumental role in laying the foundations for a more assertive judiciary, which would intervene actively to protect citizens' rights and ensure justice. Judicial activism can be understood as the proactive engagement of the judiciary in enforcing and expanding the rights of citizens, often compelling the other branches of government, namely the legislature and the executive, to fulfill their constitutional responsibilities. This approach is sometimes referred to as judicial dynamism and stands in contrast to judicial restraint, where the judiciary exercises self control and limits its interference in the affairs of the legislative and executive branches. Several definitions of judicial activism highlight its multifaceted nature. It is seen as a method of exercising judicial power that motivates judges to depart from strict adherence to judicial precedent, favoring progressive and new social policies. This often involves judicial decisions that call for social engineering, occasionally leading to perceived intrusions into legislative and executive matters. Another perspective defines judicial activism as the practice of protecting or expanding individual rights through decisions that may depart from established precedents or the supposed intent of constitutional or legislative provisions. It can also be described as judges engaging in lawmaking through active interpretation of existing laws to enhance their utility for social betterment. Judicial activism is closely tied to the concept of public interest litigation, PIL. In India, the rise of PIL is a direct outcome of judicial activism, enabling individuals or groups to seek legal remedies for issues of public interest. This has significantly broadened the judiciary's role in addressing societal issues and protecting citizens' rights. While judicial review and judicial activism are often related, they are distinct concepts. Judicial review involves the judiciary's power to uphold the Constitution and declare laws or actions inconsistent with it as void. Judicial activism, on the other hand, involves a more expansive role where judges not only uphold or invalidate laws but also participate in policy making based on broader interpretations of constitutional principles. The justification for judicial activism can be found in various circumstances. According to Dr. B. L. Vadehra, one reason is the near collapse of responsible government when the legislature and executive fail to discharge their functions effectively, leading to an erosion of public confidence in the Constitution and democracy. Citizens often look to the judiciary for protection of their rights and freedoms, placing tremendous pressure on the judiciary to step in and aid the suffering masses. Additionally, judicial enthusiasm encourages judges to participate in social reforms, promoting PIL and liberalizing the principle of locus standi, allowing more individuals and groups to approach the courts. Subhash Kashyap further notes that judiciary intervention becomes necessary when the legislature fails to discharge its responsibilities, in cases of a hung legislature with an insecure government, or when those in power avoid making tough decisions. The judiciary may also step in when the legislature and executive fail to protect citizens' basic rights or when the courts themselves become victims of populism and media attention. Upendra Baxi, a prominent jurist, identifies various groups that have driven judicial activism. These include civil rights activists, people rights activists, consumer rights groups, bonded labor groups, environmental action groups, anti irrigation project groups, child rights groups, custodial rights groups, poverty rights groups, indigenous peoples' rights groups, women's rights groups, bar based groups, media autonomy groups, assorted lawyer based groups, and individual petitioners. These activists have played a crucial role in pushing the judiciary towards a more activist stance. However, judicial activism also generates fears and apprehensions. Baxi highlights several types of fears, including ideological fears about usurping legislative or executive powers, epistemic fears regarding judges' expertise in specific fields, management fears about increasing judicial workload, legitimation fears about diminishing the judiciary's authority, democratic fears about the impact on democracy, and biographic fears about judges' post retirement roles. Judicial activism is often contrasted with judicial restraint. Judicial restraint advocates for a limited judicial role, emphasizing that judges should interpret the law without imposing their personal views. This approach stresses adherence to the original intent of the Constitution's framers and minimal interference in legislative and executive functions. The Supreme Court of India has also emphasized judicial restraint, noting that judges should respect the separation of powers and avoid encroaching on the functions of the legislative and executive branches. In conclusion, judicial activism and judicial restraint represent two ends of the judicial philosophy spectrum. While judicial activism empowers the judiciary to play a proactive role in ensuring justice and protecting rights, judicial restraint advocates for minimal judicial interference in legislative and executive functions. Understanding these concepts and their implications is crucial for appreciating the judiciary's role in democratic governance. Thank you.